Niall, a decision and the SSE Airtricity League is on the way back.
Yeah, so the NLEC today decided to go with what was known as option one, which is effectively the least disruptive offering that was on the table. And so what it means for football, I guess, is that there's clarity in the air now, and we know sort of a lot more about what resuming is going to look like. So that was great. To get that clarity was important. And I suppose the NLEC looked at all options, and indeed over the last week or 10 days, since we knew financially that it was going to be palatable for the clubs to come back, it was about overcoming some other complex issues like promotion, relegation, and indeed the FAI Cup interest as well. So there's been a number of ongoing things happening. There's been good dialogue with clubs. Everybody's opinion has been taken into account to this point. From my observations, the NLEC did a really good job in looking at all avenues of possibility. And today, the decision, which still has to be ratified by the FAI board, but it gives that nice view of what the fixture list looks like now, and we can start on the 31st of July, the bank holiday weekend, and it feels closer, definitely, after that announcement from the NLEC today that we're heading back. It feels good.
Just talk us through option one, Niall, in terms of what it means for the top of the Premier Division, and also for those teams looking at relegation or promotion from the First Division.
Yeah, so at the top, everything is as is, and the champions will be the ones who finish first, and they'll qualify for Champions League, and the other European qualifiers will qualify as normal. Down at the bottom, it's the exact same as was planned initially. There will be a relegation for the team who finishes 10th and last in the Premier League, and they'll be replaced by the champions of the First Division for next season. And the team who finished second last in 9th will end up in a shootout with the winners from the playoff of spots 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th in the First Division. So it's quite exciting that is in the air. And while it's not entirely perfect for where all of the clubs wanted to be after the 5 matches, I think the clarity of it all means we can now kick on and concentrate on the football side of it. And looking forward to those games. It'll be quite a finish to the season. So that's good. To be talking this way feels pretty good.
So 18 games in total for the Premier Division teams, including the 5 that they've played already. And you mentioned it there, the FAI Cup part of this programme as well.
Yes, and we've looked about how we can make that part of the agenda so that clubs aren't being stretched too far in terms of the length of season and their exposure, of course, to costs for prolonged periods of time. And so what we've discussed at this point is that the 8 quarterfinalists would actually complete the FAI Cup after the league season has ended, and that they will be rewarded for getting to that point. That will help them financially to get the games played for the following couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks after the season ends. So that's what we're looking at, and we'll see how that goes. The fixture list can contain that, and we hope that financially the clubs can too. So we'll know a little bit more about that in time, but I think today's announcement helps everything else to fall into place. So as long as the FAI board ratify the selection of the NLEC today, and we can start to do an awful lot more in terms of getting fixture lists out to clubs, giving them their individual matches week in, week out till the end of the season. And it's a nice place to be right now this evening.
And it's good news for fans, players and clubs alike. July the 31st, bank holiday weekend, football's coming back. Yeah,
well, that's it. We're certainly one step closer, and one big step closer. I think there's been a lot of complexities along the way. It started off with, as you know, a nervousness around actually resumption for medical reasons, and we had a lot of work to do on that. And then, of course, financial reasons. But we managed to get through that sort of problem. And of course, now the nitty-gritty of things like promotion, relegation, of the length of season, of how clubs can manage those who are in Europe will have extra games, as you know, getting players back to training. It's been one step at a time, but today feels like it's a big step.